Hi everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today I'm going to do a GAC review, so let's jump into it. The account I'm reviewing today is Dank Ideals. His account name is Senator Dankerton. Just as a reminder, let's see what is in his collection. So he has JML, Ray, Leia, Jabba, SLKR. So decent GLs with 5 chips. He has the Executrix Radis, Home 1 Chimera, Endurance, Negotiator, Finalizer, Executor, Profundity. So he's missing the Leviathan. That's a pretty big one. He doesn't have the Marauder, which isn't that big of a deal anymore with the change. Only a Gear 12 TIE Defender, and he does have the Punishing one. So this review, and he has the Scythe. So this review isn't going to really have a chance to look at the Punishing one and seeing how he's responding to that. So let's look at, let's start out. So overall, 60% for 5v5, not bad. 48% for 3v3, not the best. And 5-1 in this last one. So let's see. It looks like he got held up on something. So did OB2. But let's go to the defenses. Geos. All right. So with Geos, I don't like Geos on defense. Even, where are you in Grand Arena? So Kyber 3, the bottom of Kyber 3, sometimes the top of Kyber 4. So, yeah. Yeah, so I do like to save the Geo Brood Alpha just because he's a good tank. Not actually a tank, but with that Brood, it's a pre-taunt, and it actually does something. I usually use him with Phoenix as the 5th against Riva, or you can just plug him in with like an SLKR or something. But like Geos is a complete waste. I'm surprised they use Wampa. Alright, so you have a Saw Gerrera team here with Luthen in 5s. If you have Mon Mothma, that is the superior team. So in 5s you can have Mon Mothma here with this Rebel Fighters, and then in 3s you can use the Saw Gerrera. So maybe I would look at that. That might get a little more holds. You did get JMK Plocron out of it, so it was going to lose no matter what, but you never know. Alright, so you have a General Kenobi lead Plocron. So you have JML, right? Go to your collection. That's insane. Yeah, so you have JML. This is a complete waste right here because you can put Plo with JML, and that elevates the JML team, even if you don't have JMK. And then if you had the ETH Kothkron goes really great with Master Qui-Gon. So I don't know what you're expecting to get out of this, but it seems like a nonsensical team. So if you had the support cron in this upcoming 5v5, then the good level 6 support cron is going to be the best thing you can use with the Queen Amidala team, because it just deletes people. Honestly, this Jabba team probably would have lost if you would have had the good level 6 support cron here, because it just absolutely deletes people. This one's okay, it'll last. So next season you can use this, but this season I would use that good level 6 support cron. Alright, so Gungan, same thing. If you have it, good level 6 support. This opponent looked like they knew what they were doing. You have a tank cron with no tank. So, what are you doing here? What are you doing? Why do you have this Datacron here? There's literally no point to it. You're not getting anything. Like 13% physical damage is the best Datacron you can find with Ray. So the support cron works here, attack cron works here, like any cron that boosts her health and her stats. But like this cron doesn't make a lick of sense here. You have JTR here, and that's it. Like this is not a good cron for this team. And you have CLS with this team, which is kind of a waste too. I wouldn't put CLS here. You can go, if you have it, I use like the sortie variant with with another droid tank, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I think that's pretty lame. If you can roll this into the good level 6, it's a little late now because we're starting to build our next ones, but the good level 6 cron for Radis is absolutely nutty. Like, that's a really good cron. Yeah, this is absolute junk. Alright, so you have a complete junk Executrix here, a Radis, and Home 1. So you have the worst fleets I've ever seen on defense. Which is fine, I guess, but man, those are bad. Those are bad. Alright, so you do have DTMG here, which is pretty good. DTMG is not bad. That's a solid defensive team with the Moff Gideon Cron. So yeah, good for this. I think you want a... I don't know if that's the best level 6 for it, but yeah, this is okay. And then... so your back wall isn't the best, but it's okay. Wow, they timed out on your Night Sisters. That's pretty rare, I guess, because of this this cron. But yeah, let's see what you got held up on your offense. So you have Leia. You mirrored the Leia. So for Leia, I've been using Quadme. There's a lot of different things that take out Leia. The tank cron is really strong. So, and you use an attacker cron on Leia, which is interesting. I do think that the tank cron is probably the best. You broke up Phoenix and CLS for this Leia team. Not really efficient. I think you're trying to punch up, and breaking up 2 teams here for Leia is pretty expensive. Alright, so yeah, this is a strong team. I agree that you should have used like a GL level here. Malgus also works well on stuff like this, but yeah, I totally see that. Starkiller against Gas with a Quadme, that's new. Your opponent didn't have Datacrons on all these defensive teams. They're better defensive teams for the most part than yours, because most of them are like actual teams, but not a lot of Datacrons here, which is to be expected of a low Kyber team. I don't know what held you off here. Oh, fleets. You brought the meta fleets and you failed. So yeah, I don't know what happened here or why you lost. I'm assuming if you watch my videos, TIE Dagger, Sith Fighter, and B2. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I've never faced this, but I think if you would have played it right, then you should have been able to kill this Sith Fighter. It really does edge on being able to effectively time out the kill on Sith Fighter. And a lot of times you just have to look at, like, did any of your guys get bombs? Can you use something other than Darth Vader to target that Sith Fighter? Like, can you get the TIE Defender in there through an assist through Chimera, or just give the buff offense up and then use that TIE Defender and that'll instantly defeat the Sith Fighter? I don't know what happened here or here, but that's unfortunate that you lost through ships, especially since you bring all your good ships on offense. So sometimes it's like that. Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah. As far as your offense use, I guess Maul Mandos is good against Tarful. JML, yeah, so you do have Jedi Knight Cal Kestis here, which is good, but you could break up Jedi Knight Cal Kestis with other Jedi and use like Plokron here, and that would also be sufficient. Third Sister is really strong. Java, yeah, so solid. I do like Savage lead here, is good. Rey with Terran Malicos. I like Crew here. This is rough. If you're gonna use this against Rey, then you really should have your baby Cal in here. But overall, on that matchup, I think you deserve the loss. Yeah, so sometimes it's just like that. So let's look at your defense. Looks like you don't change it. So you can use Barris here and then a sortie L3 or something. And that could kind of like give your baby cow to Seer. Because if you have a fully built Seer team, then cow belongs there. And then a Barris could fill in here. Or you can use some other variant. But I would change this, give your Seer to cow, or give cow to your Seer, and then replace that. Keep your CLS team. I don't understand why you have CLS here. It could be much better. Because this still loses to like Star Killer, so there's nothing good here. That was super messy for them here. I guess they don't have an Omicron on Treya. Alright, so your Luthen got a hold. And then they couldn't beat your DTMG. So this is a strong team. It requires like a GL to beat. So, and then your Night Sisters with your back wall seems to be holding pretty well. So good for you on that. Offensively, you lost to Quadme with Darth Bane. That sucks. You used Darth Revan here. That was really weird. So you lost that. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, so you lost this again. I think you really need to learn your Chimera counter. It's very reliable if you're doing everything correctly. And I think you just don't understand probably the nuances with the Sith fighter, because it really does matter on like the turn order doesn't change with TIE Dagger because there's no turn meter to jack things up. But with the Sith fighter, they can run a bit of a turn meter train if RNG doesn't go your right way. So it really does matter on trying to just kill this Sith fighter as soon as possible. And then from there, it's pretty much downhill because you can get to your ult. You'll ult the B2 and then you'll keep killing them with like TIE Defender, blowing through these stacks and killing whatever's left. So I think you just need to focus on this. Bit Dynasty has a really good video on that. So if you may want to refresh yourself on this counter, because it looks like you're losing counters that you shouldn't be losing. I don't know what you're gonna do for the, because if someone brings like Leviathan and the Executor with the punishing one, I think you're gonna be hurting with on your defense as well. So I don't know if you want to change your defense to kind of like try to counter that somehow, but I think you're maybe put your Executor on defense and then hope for the best. But it's low star too, so it's probably going to lose. I think you're in heaps of trouble here for fleets, so I think you're going to be hurting in the future. I don't see fleets going your way. Like you're punishing one with a 5-star Executor is not going to be great, and then you don't have a Leviathan, so and you've been losing the Leviathan matches with Chimera anyway, so I think you're not in a good place for your fleets overall right now. So it's something you may want to look at. And you're pretty messy here. Qui-Gon versus Qui-Gon. I don't like that personally. If you had CLS, you could have CLS this team maybe. It does have you probably lost because they have Datacron, which makes sense. So yeah, it's good to just two-shot it, and at least you killed Qui-Gon, and then you can come and clean it up. But you're winning these because your opponents in low kyber aren't great, but I think you could do better, and I think you're going to be in a world of hurt because one, you're very messy, as you can see here. Like you're dropping a ton of battles, and two, I think your fleets, with the addition to the punishing one, even though you have it, I think with your low star Executor, you're at a severe disadvantage here and missing that meta fleet. So I think you're going to be in trouble here shortly. Maybe this week you can still pull it out just with like your ground game or something. But I think fleets, you're not going to be able to clean anymore. And then if your opponents are just somewhat competent, your defense isn't strong enough that a competent player can't get through. My account isn't anything special, but I would just I could like get through your defense effortlessly with a very minimal amount of my roster, and then your fleets are just free. So I think as you continue to climb out of and I think that's why you're pretty much in Kyber 3, is you don't have you don't have really like a showstopper. You bring all your stuff on offense here, and a showstopper right now would be like a Leia with a Tankron or something like that. Something that's like very strong. A lot of players can get stopped on that. Or, just like a really strong Datacron. Like your DTMG is probably the best thing that you have. But a competent player is going to be able to beat this. As you saw, like C beat this without a Datacron. So, like if anyone saves a GL, like JMK, Leia, Jabba, SOKR for your back wall, you're pretty much screwed right here. So I would look at your defense, maybe change your Leia. And honestly, you're not scouting. I would change this Plocron because that's completely useless, and you're just throwing that Cron away. But overall, I think there's room for improvement here on how you can maximize your defense. You're doing well, but I think there's a ceiling on how well you can do, because you don't have like a viable defense that's going to work against a competent player. You're in a fleet disadvantage, extreme fleet disadvantage now against those who have all the fleets. And I think you just need to change this up a little, maybe. So just something to think about. Other than that, thanks for letting me look at your account, and then I'll see you next time. Take care.